in now. Hi, good evening. Mic check. Mic check, mic check. Mic test, mic test. I'm Adrian Ng. Let me do in a chat session. Hello. So we can have our Q&A more casually here in the chat box. Hi. Thank you, everyone that is joining us tonight. Tonight we have Teh. We will start our session at 8:30. We'll wait for a while more. Hi, Raj. Yes, good. Can get got your message. Yeah, we can try that on Q&A later. Hi, David. Good evening. All right, 8:30. I shall start with a quick introduction of myself. My name is Adrian Ng. I'm your host for tonight and many nights to come in the future. A bit of a background for myself is I'm actually VP in the EBPS division, Equity Brokering Product Sales, which I actually cover a broad base of products and also sometimes stock idea. So tonight I'll be a host, and in the coming future, you'll be seeing my face for a very long term. Tonight we have my fellow colleague here, Mr. Teh Kian Yeong, which has always been super senior to me, that actually guided my career through when I was an analyst. And tonight, the topic for that he's going to share with us is the construction sector outlook and getting us ready to ride the bull cycle with his view on getting us ready. And just a bit of a background on Mr. Teh. He has been an analyst for 22 years, have covered a broad spectrum of sectors. And he is also the best age award winner back in 2015. And currently, he's actually covering the utilities, construction, and the building material sector. It's gonna be really, really hot next year. Yeah, so that's what we thought that we could get you guys in. Yeah. Yes, Ling Yingfang, you raise your hand. Probably later you can pop your questions in the chat box later. So without further ado, I'll get Mr. Teh to start his session, and we'll go along to the night in a more casual setting when we can actually have a discussion style where we conduct the webinar. All right, Teh, floor is yours.
Okay, sure. Thanks, Adrian, my colleagues for, I think it's probably 12 years since I joined. Actually, we joined together, Kenanga, just one week apart. I joined first, then the second week he joined. Okay, thanks everyone joining us this evening to hear about our view on the construction sector for 2024. Again, I'm Teh Kian Yeong, the construction analyst at Kenanga Research. So I think as agents have mentioned that we are quite bull on the construction itself. I think they are for a few particular reasons. Let's move on. Okay, we think that contracts that is going to roll out, which have been delayed in the past 1 year, and we think that it will come online in the next, at least the next 12 months or so, or more. As you will see that what have been delayed actually, the MRT3, the Penang LRT, some part of the phases for the Pan Borneo Highway in Sabah Sarawak. And of course, there are large scale of the flood mitigations projects throughout in the peninsula. And beside that, we think that from the private side, for private side, you probably expect more a contract flow from the semiconductor side as well as the data center. Okay. I probably just share some general term for the construction sector player in Malaysian's market. I think we make it a very simple one. The general contractors as well as specialists. Okay, you see that previously under the old system for the MRT 1 and 2, you have this project delivery partner, which they appoints Gamuda and NIC to manage the whole projects. But I think in the coming one, there's no longer have such arrangements, because that like Gamuda, they were just the actually is the operator, they are the managers of the projects. So basically, is that the risks are not on their side. The government will take on this for the previous system. So moving on, I think all the contractors are going to take the risk so that they will manage it, so there were less burden on the government side. So you will no longer see this PDP in the future. I mean, for the upcoming projects, but you will never know probably in the future. So general contractors, basically, we're talking about those that main con that they take on the projects. They can be a building for the civil structures, talking about the real projects, talking about a road project. The specialists, basically, they are very specialized in certain areas. When they're talking about the substructures, they're talking about tunnelings, like Gamuda is famous for the tunneling project for the MRT 1 and 2. And now they are in Australia for the Sydney project. We have the marine side, we got the structures still. So all these are the specialist contractors. But in general, what you can see is, of course, specialist contractor, they fare a better margin as compared to the general contractor. Okay.
Would you slow down a bit and we
Sure.
just can we stay on the specialist the slide on the page 4? From the list, right? I think you mentioned PDP. The role of PDP will not be in place for the upcoming project structure. What would be your take in terms of, would there be potential when the contractors are taking on their risk themselves, right? Would they be potentially also be looking and putting in a bit of a buffer for their margin? In other words, would it translate to potential incremental margins?
Of course, because when you take on the risk, then you can manage it well, then you will have a better margins. But in general, the margins should be better, and that actually depends on how you manage the projects itself. So I think it's sort of like a win-win for both the governments as well as the listed co itself. Governments, they do not need to take on the financial burdens. For the contractors, you manage well, so of course you can fare a better margins, but of course you need to take the financial burden. So there's one thing that's helped to actually prove yourself. You have to trace a project so that you can make it on time, instead of government take on the risk, then you may not have the urgency. Of course, they have there is always a timeline. But if the project is under your belt, then I think you'll be more cautious in terms of your cost, your timeline, all those. So I think it's good actually for both sides. You ask me.
So now, without the role of, let's say, PDP, and the contractors are taking more risk. So if we were to look at the contract sizes, if the future contract sizes are in a chunkier manner, So the one that we should probably look and zoom in first for our priorities would be the one with have a better balance sheet, I suppose.
Of course, because when you tender your projects, of course, your clients, in this case, let's say your MRT is your MRT corp, they will definitely want to look at your balance sheet. If you have no balance sheet strength, I don't think that you're able to carry on the job. So that is that basically is the basic that you need to have, of course.
Okay. So from your list, I can actually see Gamuda quite in a number of places.
Yes, correct. Yeah, you can see
Okay.
actually in the middle.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
So, okay, sure, no problem. Okay, next, let's just look at how the share performance actually for the contractor or the builder in Malaysia. Under the six company that we cover, you can see, prior to this year, the share price movements actually is quite in tandem with the KLCI. You can see that on the left side, this chart, since middle of this year, you see that the constructions index actually outperformed the for the overall KLCI. Year to date, it's actually constructions index up 21%, whereas for the Bursa the FTSE KLCI actually dropped 3%. Is at the beginning, okay, looking at your look at your right hand side of this charts itself. The one that dealing the constructions index actually is Gamuda. It's Gamuda. Basically because that okay, you see that the contract have been delayed for this year. Most of the public contract. So hence those contractors that rely on the public projects, their order books is low, earnings are not so. But people like Gamuda, which they already venture outside Malaysia, they are now in the biggest markets actually is in Australia. They have it in Taiwan, in Singapore, so that the contract flow actually is there. So what drives the share price most of the time is the contract flow. So hence why Gamuda actually at first they lead the way. Slowly then you can see that your Sunway Construction, Suncon, because they have their in-house project from the parent company or from the sister company. So that actually also keep them floating. Okay, and people's like Kejaya Prospects also, they have their related party contract from
The property side.
E&O, yeah, the property side from the E&O, from the Kejaya property as well. So actually that's actually keep the momentum go. But in the last quarter of this year, you will see that other smaller contractor pay a catch up. So I think everyone is really, I think they have a better hopes that, the contract will definitely is going to come out very soon, because you know that early on, because of the politics, when GE15 was held in November last year. We kind of there's no single party that can really form a government. So eventually, Anwar Ibrahim become PN10, and then I think the how to say, the situation is like 50-50. Then come August, the 6 remaining states that had not had their general elections back in November last year, they had their state elections August this year. So all the political things probably they already settled. And now you see this week, Anwar Ibrahim has his first cabinet reshuffle. So means is actually now we are moving. Okay, there is a lot of noise, but I believe that we are moving. Now we are really moving after one year.
I think before the reshuffling, the market has been a bit slow. And I think while the news of the reshuffling happening, probably that we all thought that the market would be pretty much dead. But I think since the reshuffling, today I have actually saw, before I left the office, I quickly checked on the volume and also value, right? Seems like it has coincide with the so-called positive news from US. The traded value today is almost touching 2.8 billion actually, which
Okay, that's very good.
is very, very positive. But of course, we want to keep our fingers crossed. I mean, hopefully we can see more of these so-called contracts that that you mentioned, right? The expectation is actually building up quite it's gonna go, it went from slow, now it's getting excited. Hopefully the moment we start next year is gonna get intense, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's why I mentioned that since September, you will see that those laggard in the construction stocks, they start to move. So
Mm,
that's you can see from here, those that under our coverage, actually they move quite in tandem with Gamuda already, except one,
mm,
Kim Loan. Kim Loan result was very bad for the past 2 quarters. This company also they rely on a big chunk of their contract strategies from the public
the
projects. So I
infras.
think yeah, the infra. So I think once this roll out, all the infra projects roll out. I believe that all this construction company will just build up more momentum from here on. Okay, I
Mm,
think I will just move on to the next. Um, what is going to drive the sector? Talking about in terms of earnings, in terms of contracts, in terms of the share price momentums, of course, is always about the contracts. From the public side, this is the government's the government public spending. They're talking about the gross development expenditure.
mm,
So the midterm review for the 12 Malaysian plan, basically they have projects 264 millions for the next 3 years. That actually translates to about close to 90 billions a year for the next for this year, 2024, 2025. And this amount actually is quite big if you compare to the average of about 50 billion in 11 the Malaysia plan. I mean the 11 MP. And you compare to the first 2 years of the 12 MP, 2021 it was only 64, which is about
mm,
37% higher. And last year it was only 72 billion. So we will expect, the spending will be more from this year, next year onwards, of course. And but of course, all these spendings actually it may not reflect on those bigger contractor. We are talking about those listed co. Either you are small or big. This type of contract usually go to the smaller unlisted company because all this project is mainly for the rural area, for your trunk road, for maintenance for your trunk roads, or there's expansions for the beaches, this and that. So I think the impact for the listed co is not so much, but I think it gives a good sentiment to the overall construction sectors itself with this type of higher budget for the development project. So let's move on to those that really can impact
mm,
our listed co. And at the north of our peninsula, we're talking about Penang side. I think they have a very grand plan on their Penang Transport Master Plan. This is a 30 years program, and Penang LRT is just part of it. About I think the overall projects is about 46 billion. For the Penang LRT is about close to 10 billion. I think 9 to 10 billion. Move on to our Klang Valley side, the MRT3, about 45 millions. South, you moving further south to Johor, we got your RTS, which is ongoing, but I think they are still got smaller packages. Is to wait to be rolled out. Then the new one now is the revival of the HSR, the high speed rail, KL to Singapore. But I think this it will probably take some time. Which I'm going to share later. And we cross over to the South China Sea of our East Malaysia, Pan Borneo highway. We got your Sabah section. We got your Sarawak section. We got the in between the two states as well. This is for the phase 2, and the project is probably going to come out soon as well. Earlier on, you were saying that it should some project is going to go out in the second half of this year, but I think so far the new flows is still quite slow. And I think Anwar Ibrahim had visited that Sabah, I think last earlier of the month. So he actually had mentions about this, and he actually want to push people to carry out the job. So I think we're going to expect a contract to be issued soon. And beside that, the flood mitigations about 30 billions. I think it's good, big enough that I think everyone can in this space can share the pie. And yeah, that's about the major one. So let's move on to the Penang. Penang, this 30 years Penang Transport Master Plan. I think for the first phase of it, you will see that I just divide into the 4 different projects. The first one is the bypass for the Lim Chong Yu Expressway to Aitam, which you can see actually from this side there, which is bypass to near to the Penang Beach. So this contract is already ongoing. It's expected to be completed by 2015. Very short, it's only 6 km. It's going for 851 million. Second project is a Pan Islands Link. This is behind here. It started actually from the North Gurney, go down all the way closer to the second Penang Bridge. So basically that you're going to bypass all these heavy traffic area.
Congested areas.
Yeah, congested area. So this is about 20 km long. It's still pending. The third and the fourth projects, I think, okay, the LRT projects actually is initiated by Gamuda. And initially, this project actually is a PFI project. As you know, that since 2008, Penang state government and the federal government is a 2 different party.
Yep.
And then the other side actually is the DAP-led Pakatan Harapan. So federal government is back then. Federal government wasn't really supportive of their project, so they have to find a way to improve it, and that's how Gamuda came in. So how it works actually basically is that the state government gives the rights for Gamuda consortium led by the Gamuda to reclaim the 3 islands at the south of Penang Island. So these 3, at first it's 3, but because after the protest this and that environmental issue, it's down to only 1. But of course now, since last year November, our federal government is now at the Pakatan Harapan, or the so-called unity government. So they are in the same site, and it is now the governments have said that this will be a federal government's project. So I think it will save some problem. You probably will say that you will save some problem for the state governments itself. So I think if the island only now to 1, it shouldn't be a problem at all for them. So for this South Island, in July, the contracts is already dished out, and of course Gamuda consortium won the project. It's 3.7 billion contract that they're going to phase 1 to reclaim the land. So phase 1 will be complete by 2030. So it's still quite some time to go. In total, I think it will take 10 to 15 years to make it an island. So basically, they're going to build a so-called Silicon Valley in this area. So all the high-tech thing will probably move on Bayan Lepas to this island. So it will really transform the industry, the tech industry in Penang itself. But of course, this is definitely is going to be good for Malaysia. So okay, let's see the LRT, the Bayan Lepas LRT line. This is close to 30 km, close to 27 km long of LRT. They're going to have 23 stations. It will start from Komta. I think Penang, the symbolic building is a Komta. I think it's almost 40 years. The tallest building in Penang. Yeah, the tallest building in Penang. Back then, it was the tallest in Malaysia or Southeast Asia, but that was 40 years ago. And this LRT line will go down all the way to the island, the main island when it's completed. Yes.
It feels like
it's
a
still,
Sentosa soon, the island. I'm actually
but
fantasizing in that way.
Sentosa is more on leisure. This is is an industrial park plus some from some residential also. So I think it's totally different because Sentosa is more on for you to go there for leisure. But this is for you to go
Recreational
there.
purpose.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it's two different one. And this project is now under MRT Corp. Still pending, but I think Anthony Look had said that he hopes that the project is going to start as soon as January. So which is
So,
only in 2 weeks in 2 weeks time. But so far,
so the project owner, well, is a federal effort. The project owner will be MRT Corp itself.
yeah, it's MRT Corp, correct. It's
Ah,
MRT
okay,
Corp.
okay.
Okay, this under MRT Corp. So I think probably you will see how soon this MRT Corp is going to announce the projects. Then you'll know from there. Next in KL, we back to Klang Valley. This is a very important. This is the last piece of the public transport to link up all your rail system, be it your KTM, your KTM, your LRT, your existing LRT line 1, 2, 3, your MRT 1 and 2, so that it's going to link up. Okay, for instance, you are from Ampang. Let's say you're from Ampang. You want to go to Gombak currently. You need to go down to probably, I think it's Masjid Jami or somewhere, so that you only can go, I think you have to, this line, you have to go to the Masjid Jami. Then you only can go to Gombak. But when this circle line is completed, you can just stop at this Pandan Indah. You cross over to Setia Wangsa. So you cut short the time. So this is a very important public transport system that will make more efficient. So that can you imagine that those that work in the KL city or probably two different parts of Klang Valley. So in this system, you will save a lot of your time. Save a lot of time, and probably people will tend to take public transport if the system is good. The Circle Line, of course, they need to improve their bus schedule, all those the feeder bus or whatsoever.
The shuttle bus.
The shuttle bus. So that more people take public transport, that will be lessen up that the road is not so congested. And you will see most of the metropolitans in the world, actually people are travel by public transport. I think Malaysia is a bit special. Most people drive, and you see on the road, most of the time it's just only the driver. You hardly see any passengers. And I think one of the biggest problem for Malaysia is that we don't have a good public transport system. So of course we do hope that when this when it completed with all the buses, the system, so that you will improve, and it will benefit to everyone. But I think we shall see. And this project has been delayed. The validity of the tender is already extended 4 times. Latest actually is to March 20. In a 3 months time from December, which is the end of this month. So we say that it has been delayed for 4 months. 4 term, which is 12 months. I think one of the reasons, like just I mentioned, is because of the politics situation. And hopefully with this, I think you will expect that the project is going to go out very soon. Compare these two projects, your LRT and your MRT. I personally believe that LRT will come first.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons is because it's simplest, not so complicated as compared to MRT3. Second, the cost is lower. I think it's just probably a fourth of the MRT cost. This is about 10 billion. That one is 40 to 50 billion. So costs are lower. But somehow or other, I still believe MRT 3 is definitely going to come. I feel the timeline personally. I feel it probably it will happen in the middle of the year. I think it will happen in the middle of the year.
Probably June.
Yeah, or probably June in the second half or the third quarter itself. First quarter is a bit unlikely since they already extended to end of the first quarter. Second quarter possible, but I think anything you will see something in the third quarter. That is
probably we will see some smoke in the news, you know, something running up, but there's no award just yet, correct?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay, so this is for the peninsular side for these two. And let's move on to the Sabah Sarawak side. The Pan-Borneo Highway Phase 1 is ongoing. Phase 1 for Sarawak, what I read from the press, because actually this is all controlled by the state agency, unlike here in Peninsula, mainly handled by the federal government. So I think the news flow about the contracts progressions, I think it's not so. I would say that it's not transparent, but it's not so often that you see that they publish like how is the progress. MRT, you can go to MRT Corp, you can go all you can get the progress status there actually. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's,
so you can get
new.
Yeah, so you can get I think much up to date info as compared to Sabah Sarawak side. Phase 1, I think in total from one end of the Sarawak to the other end of the Sabah, it probably 700 to 800 km long actually. It's definitely very good. I mean, sad to say is that Peninsular Malayan people hardly go to Sabah Sarawak. I think one thing is probably because the air ticket is quite expensive. So you go there, you will see it's actually the infrastructure is really far lag behind the peninsular side. Even though I think they have contributed a lot. You're talking about your oil reserve, a lot are from Sabah Sarawak side. But I think sadly to say the infrastructure is still lag behind the Semenanjung side. But with this infrastructure plan, I think it's good for the development in Sarawak as well as Sabah itself. So for what I read from the news that the phase 1 for Sarawak actually now is close to 100% already. Latest figure I see is in April, 94%. I think by now probably it's going to be completed. Sabah slightly lag behind as in August. It's about 82%. And then you have the link between the Sabah and Sarawak. I traveled earlier on. I traveled quite a lot to Sarawak because you know, at Kenanga, we have a very strong presence in Sarawak. We have quite a number of branches throughout your Kuching, your Sibu, your Mintulu, your Miri. So that's why I say I go there to experience how is the infrastructure itself. So if you want to travel from Miri, go into the KK itself, you have to go to another country before you can go to your own country, because this part I think is very interior mountain area, you can't really access. So you have to go, you are out from Miri going to Brunei, and then you will need to go out Brunei again, going to Sarawak and another part, and then you go out again to the Brunei, go in again 5 times before you can reach the Sabah border, before you reach KK called the Kinabalu. So now we have this Sarawak and Sabah link road just to link up from here in the interior part to link it to Sabah, as you can see from here. This part actually the progress now is still quite slow. Well, I can see that in June it's only about 15% completion, but I think now should be higher already. So actually this part is very good for the link within the ring road between the two states. It will carry out the business activity. It will help more on the human traffic. Talking about business activity, it will really bring out the business activity here. I think this is a very good plans actually for the benefit of our people in Sabah and Sarawak. To recall that I think back in 80s before our north-south highway in Semenanjung started, you travel from Johor to KL to Penang to Thailand. You had to go through like let's say Padang Besar. So now highway you can use it cuts short the time. People can travel easily. Your business can move. So means the north-south highway actually have a very impactful to our development in Semenanjung. So of course with this Pan-Borneo highway, it will be very impactful to Sabah and Sarawak as well, especially with this link road that it will help all this. So phase one, like I say, is ongoing. The phase two is coming, so we should expect more new flow from this side. But of course, Sabah Sarawak project, they are mainly they want to participate actually mainly the local Sarawak company or the Sabah company. From the Semenanjung one, actually, it's not many. But of course, like Kim Long, actually, they have secured the one that in Sabah, if I'm not mistaken. Then Gamuda also, but I think mainly they are more impactful to those that in the East Malaysia company, be it they are listed company like the HSS, all these Hoxingly. So they actually will benefit this. So it's actually good for overall the overall the business ability, the constructors and the economy of these two states actually going forward.
Just a quick one. Last time we will see the Pan Borneo site is really protective of the local contractors and even business that they are very protective. But do you see a mild shift now that I heard? I mean I've not been an analyst for a while, so I don't really follow the news. But of late, I think I heard that YKL Cement is picking up steam in Sarawak, which used to be the dominant, the most local turf, the home turf for CMS.
CMS,
So,
correct.
so do you
Okay.
see that the Peninsula guys could have a higher opportunity to score in?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think my personal view is that okay, you know that Indonesia is moving their capital city to
Kalimantan.
Nusantara, Kalimantan. I think it's somewhere here. Okay.
Oh.
So that's definitely Sabah and Sarawak is going to benefit if this whole thing development carry out. I feel if you can get some Semenanjung company which have expertise or help, you work together. I think it's a win-win. You like it or not, we are in the same country. I mean, we are in one country. We are not in like one country but got two. It's different. If we're talking Indonesia, Singapore is Singapore, but Sabah, Sarawak is still Malaysia. If you can get the Semenanjung, those good company that it can really bring some skill so that you can work together with the local Salawakians or the Sabahan company. Why not? And then from there, you actually can export to Kalimantan for the Nusantara, which is good for the nation, good for your Sarawak, good for your Sabah. Yeah, that's what I think. Probably because of that recently you see, yes, YTL is there, Gamuda is there. I was told that IGM is there as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, IGM is there as well. They really, we back in KL's actually, Indonesia embassy is just next to our building. So actually they are working with our economist team that, we try to promote, to get Malaysians company to invest in Nusantara, their new capital. So I think we had once talks few months ago. I can't recall when was it. September, if I'm not mistaken. I actually invited like Gamuda, IGN, Suncon to join. They are so they are so keen because they know that there is a huge potential there. So I think eventually will be a win-win for everyone. Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah. Okay. HS. This uh high speed rail. It was mooted during the Najib time, PM Najib times. 20 this G14 is the first time that we changed governments at the federal level. So
Mm.
Mahathir took over. Eventually, this project was call off. But now we talking it again. So in middle of years actually, okay, my HSR actually is also partly under um, MRT Corp. In July, my HSR actually have conducted a briefings actually for the request for information. Get the contractor, get the architects or whatsoever come and contribute to see what we can revise these projects again. And the submissions for this request for informations is actually middle of next month. So
Oh,
I think
very soon.
yeah, it's very soon. And the former deputy finance minister, Ahmad Mazlan, actually on the day itself, he just got his new transfer to another
New
post.
rule.
So new role. So he actually says that the request for proposal will start immediately after the submission for this request for information, so that thing were moving on. But of course, everyone knows that our next king will be from Johor.
Johor.
Johor Sultan will be the next Agung. So he want this project to carry out. But I think it will still take some time. Can you imagine that you need about 6 months to get your request for information? You need probably another 6 months for your request for proposal. Then after that, you go for the bidding, this and that. I think it will take probably at least another year, a year and a half to two. So it's still very early stage lah. But I
But
think
but 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 do you think that this high speed rail project would serve as a continuity of new flow after the MRT Circle 3?
yeah, that's what I want to say actually. So that you will see the new flows keep flowing up after this, because actually Malaysia is a very small country. We only got 30 millions. Um, you actually okay. The more populous area is Klang Valley.
Yeah.
By once we have our MRT3, meaning to say that we have almost the complete set of our public transport system. Penang at this level, I don't think they need yes, they need LRT, but if talking about MRT, I doubt so. They still not go to the level. And what they can do probably later, they're going to, of course, under the Penang Transport Master Plan, they actually the LRT will extend to the mainland side, the Seberang Perai side.
Oh,
Stop at the Butterworth, which the Penang Central, like KL Central.
yeah.
Penang Central will be the transportation hub for Penang State or the northern side, and that hub actually is at Butterworth. So there's a reason why that in the future phase the LRT will going to stop there, and but after that they will all go by the buses system. So it's not much on that. Go down south, of course, the LRT for the JB side, I think they are still working on is on work, but I think nothing is concrete yet. When the RTS is completed, I think you will see the business busting will very strong in the JB itself. So the ringgit is how to say Sing dollar is 3.5 times bigger or stronger than ringgit Malaysia. So for people that when the RTS is ready, you can go past the hassle currently that you face in the CIQ in the checkpoint at the this how to say the cross
Causeway.
the causeway. Yes, I was trying to think the causeway. So with the RTS, it's just like you take a LRT now in KL from one stop to another. I think they have about 4-5 stops only. So actually, you clear all your system. You clear all your custom system when you are checking into the when you are tapped into the to the RTS itself, and then you can get out in Woodland. So you can travel very fast. And you know that the public transport in Singapore is so efficient. So that I think the people may want to live in JB just to save some cost, because that the rental in Singapore is very expensive. And with this system, I think it's very good. So probably in the future you'll see more LRT line, or is it possible got MRT? It depends how it extends. Okay, you see, because Johor State is very big. It's
Yeah,
huge from one end to the
very
other.
huge.
Can you imagine you want to go to Pengerang, which is at this side? From JB, you landed in
Senai.
Senai. It take you up more than an hour or 2 hours to reach your Pengerang, which is your petroleum hub.
Yep.
So in the future, let's say it's really busting, people centric here more, it's possible that they're going to extend to other parts of. So, but MRT, I think it's a bit unlikely for now lah. But LRT, I think is definitely going to have a few line, unless you say that the people will live further away to Batu Pahat, to this Simpan Lingam, to like more is a bit too far. This is called what it is, your Kluang. That is possible, but I think, for now, I think it's very unlikely for that. So for this project, I see is a, like Adrian said, I totally agree with him. It's a continuation of the this contract flow after the LRT, Penang LRT, the MRT3, so that you see you keep going. But after that, I think it's probably will
The
slow
deliverables
down.
lah.
Yeah,
The deliverables after that lah. So
correct.
quick interesting fact, they I actually totally agree with you on the potential of the so-called public transport for RTS being connected with Singapore, and the prospects of enabling this our neighbors from Singapore to actually enjoy more in Malaysia. One of it is actually recently I had a meeting with the Saxo Bank CEO, right? The interesting point is he's actually telling us he's actually staying in JB and he's actually working in Singapore. So I think it's not just the currency, it's just where when you're just living in a city, you just want to get a break out of that zone sometimes. Probably that's the case too. So I think there's a very big potential on coming in from the Johor side of things. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally agree with you.
Yep. Okay.
Mm.
So this is for the public projects, infra projects for Malaysia. Now we move on to the private side. Like
Oh,
just now I
okay.
mentioned, um, two job markets is going to drive the construction sector for the private sector side. One is the more factory that set up in Malaysia for those semiconductor. You know that the trade tensions between the two giants, the Americans and the Chinese. So
Yep.
they have diverted their factory, relocated to Southeast Asia. They're coming to Malaysia. They come to Vietnam. So Malaysia is really one of the beneficiary from this. So you will see more contract from this part of the business segment. Kejaya, they'll be working with Samsung that focuses on this this type of semiconductor factory, their expansion. So the first one's actually they secured 1.45 billion about a year ago for the Texas factory in Malacca.
The
And
calculator lah, the calculator, right?
I know, I think they have more than that. They have more than that. Then the other parts basically is a data center. Data center is very hot. Against, I think that you will see there are a lot of business, or how to say, the big MNC that they have moved their regional or the Asia Pac headquarters from Hong Kong to Singapore, because of, I think you know, one thing is because of China and the US conflicts, and then also the Hong Kong side. I think in the past 10 years there have happens a lot of things. So I think they have actually relocated their HQ. So all this actually big MNC, they actually need a lot of data center, new set of it. So the one that benefiting actually is those in near to Johor side. You will see that there are more more data center coming out. You've been reading news about, you know, the YTL Power that they're working with the NVIDIA. Yeah, the NVIDIA. There are so many of that. So data center actually in Malaysia mainly located in your Penang, because there's a lot of MNC in Penang. The central regions, which is the KL itself, your Cyberjaya. Then the other one is in Johor. I personally believe that Johor will be the big brother in this space, because there are more and more all will be going to Johor, because they will just cross the crossway from Singapore, so they can relocate from some of it from Singapore to JB to Johor itself. Tenaga actually Tenaga, they have said that they actually have signed 8 electricity supply agreement with the data center for a total of 2,000 megawatt. Of which 292 megawatt of capacity of this data center is already completed. So you will expect another 1,007 to come out. All these projects, either be it your just now your semiconductors factory or data center, they are fast track project. They build it at a shorter time. So hence, profit margins are better than your conventional projects.
Would you mind sharing? Would you mind sharing with us what kind of average time for this construction?
They are looking at about 12 months only. One thing that Malaysia, yes, 12 months. Okay, for data center, it's only 12 months. One thing that Malaysia can attract so many all these data center provider, that they are setting up, or they put their server in Malaysia, is because it will promise them that the project can be delivered within 12 months. Your normal project contract, it take you about 2 years to 3 years or even longer. But this is only 12 months. Yeah. So this 2,000 megawatt is going to be ready in total in 1 year's time. And I think the other question you're probably going to ask that whether do we have enough power to supply. Yes, we have more than enough to cater for this. Reason being 2,000 megawatt, I think it make up about slightly more than 10% of our installed capacity in Semenanjung, in Peninsula. Okay. And currently our reserve margin is still high, about 40, more than 30%, it closer to 40%. And the idea to maintain reserve margin, the ideal level actually is 20%. It's not zero. If you zero, meaning it says that one power plant out, meaning you will see a lot of area will be blackout. So why the idea is to maintain at 20%. This is a worldwide standard. This is not Malaysian standard. It's 20%. So that one power plant down, those picking plant means says that they are standby, get an instruction from the single buyer to say that, okay, your plant can start to generate. So any plants that go for maintenance, all this picking plant will come in to fit in the demand requirement. So that we currently have more than 30%, close to 40%. So if we take out another 10%, we are still fine to have cater to all this. Singapore, I think they first, the land is scarce, expensive. Second, power supplies is another issue. So if you have more this data center go to Singapore, first, your cost is going to be very high. Second, you need a land. Third, you need a power supply. So I think Malaysia have a have a sweet spot for this. So we are I think the latest by this I can't recall which of this guys it have came out report. Malaysia's now actually is one of the top in Southeast Asia to attract data center to set up actually. So one of these regions is because we got the space, we can deliver faster than others. Third, we got the power. And then Kenanga actually have projected that, for the next 10 years, in total, we're going to have another five more thousand megawatt of data center coming out. So in total, we're going to have 7,000 from now to until 2034. So the contract flow will keep coming, so that those listed co that involved in data center, I think you will see them. They were getting contracts here and there. Should be quite often from now, at least for the next 2 years, 3 years that that you're going to see. Suncon, they have secure actually. Suncon had already secured one data center, about 1.7 billion last year. They actually secured another one called K2. K2 is a Robocop company set up also in, but very small. I think the one is less than 200 million, 170 or 190 million contract. The one is the smallest scale, but this one 1.7 by the Yellowwood actually is a much bigger contract. So this is the space that the smaller, big or small contractor that it can pick up, so that everyone will benefit. So I think this is going to drive. But of course, contract side, it wouldn't be like your MRT, LRT, like 10 of billions. This is 1-2 billions, but I think it's really good enough.
Still very good.
It's still very good for everyone. So that's about it that I'm talking about the outlooks for the private private side as well as the public side that just now I have shared. So next we come to our topic. I think overall we believe that, or in the past you will see, when there's an upcycle, the bigger boy is going to benefit. It's going to be benefited from it. So hence our pick for this quarter, or since last quarter when we upgraded the overall sector, we picked all the three big players: Gamuda, IJN, and Suncon. Out of these three, of course, they all are involved in LRT 1 and 2, and even now 3, and your MRT 1 and 2. So they're all involved. So definitely that they're going to get a pie. I would say it's guaranteed, but chances is very high that they're going to get the one. We're talking about Gamuda. In Malaysia, the only one that can do the tunneling actually is only Gamuda for the MRT. They have been working on it, the MRT 1 and 2, and now they are doing it in Sydney for the Signal Metro West. So they are the lead. They are basically in this upcycle. And beside that, I think Suncon, they got their parent company and their sister company that they can keep on feeding them. IGM itself, I think is good enough that they will have more when projects coming up. They can do either the private side or they can do the public side from the LRT, MRT. I think that's good enough for to keep them busy. However, Gamuda will have bigger impacts from this, because they're not only in Malaysia. Like just I mentioned that they are already venture out from Malaysia, because like I also mentioned that Malaysia is such a small country. We don't is the growth actually has some limitation. They go outside Malaysia, they go to Australia, they go to Singapore, they go to Taiwan now for their constructions. These are the mature country, mature market. It's a developed country. So system are better. I think you probably would say that people are go IGM, they go to Middle East, they go to India, but they don't really see anything. But I think we cannot compare because they are not apple to apple comparison.
Comparisons.
Yeah. So you go Singapore, they all talk about transparency, efficiency. You go Australia, the same thing. You go to Taiwan, is also the same thing. So I think for them to fail in these three market, the chances is quite low. I wouldn't say that it's not, but I think the chances is low compared to you go to the Middle East. Earlier on, there are so many people, so many contractors go to Middle East, go to India, and they fail. So I think for them, I believe they will stand out. I think so far in Australia they're doing quite well, but I think there's one downside on this. Their margin will be compromised because you go to all this market, it's very competitive, so it's fight on the efficiency. So your margin will be definitely smaller than what you can enjoy in Malaysia. In Malaysia, you are looking at a 10% at a P at a P for a pre-tax level, but you go to Singapore they are looking at about 8%. In Australia, they're looking at above 8%. So they are still some, but I think it's okay because you're going to have a bigger earning base than before, even though that your margins are lower. But overall, you will gain from it.
Can you remind us a bit? I mean, just in the context that, would you say that this time around, this 27.8 billion, which it just struck my head, is almost half the high-speed rail contract already, is their record high?
This is a record high actually. Later I'm going to share with you the next slide. Okay. Because at IGM, Suncon, I think they are very Malaysian centric. Of course, Suncon got some project in Singapore also. IGM, of course, they have it in India. I will focus only in Gamuda. Why I want to share with Gamuda only? Because I think there are some very interesting development in Australia, and that's one of the reasons why they are there. Okay, let's see the next slide. You can see that their order book actually is doubled up in the past 12 months. The latest one, which they just announced on the 9th of this month, beginning of this month, for the first quarter of 2024, they actually the order books outstanding actually is about close to 28 billion. If you compare to the same quarter a year ago, first quarter of FY23, it was only 15 million. So it's almost doubled out over this 12 months period. So what have happened actually in the last 6 months? In May this year, they have acquired their second Aussie company called Downtown Transportation's Infrastructure, DT Infrastructure in Australia. They acquired it in May. Later I'll share more on this company. Then in June itself, they announced that this was they announced together with their third quarter result on the days itself. This is for the PSI, which is for the island in Penang that just I mentioned. Remember, I said that this project is supposed to fund the LRT. So that time they have announced the contract value actually is total contract value to the consortium is 3.7 billion. But the one that is going to recognize in Gamuda is only 3.5. So the 200 million is for another partners for other jobs basically. So they won this project. And that times actually they have guided the market. The analyst is that they expect their top line, their revenue is going to be doubled up by 2025 from 2023. Okay. They have guided actually is that they are looking at 25 billion order books that they expect to win over the next 2 years in FY24 to 25. And they have said that out of this 25 billion, there are 6 mega projects that they are looking at it. One is from 2 is from Malaysia. I think when you say 2 in Malaysia, roughly you will know what project is that. your MRT3 and your LRT. They are looking in Taiwan. They are looking in Australia, and there's another one that they never mentions. Okay, so that's when they say that it's for the first time. I think it's a very bold statement that they expect the earning is going to be their top line is going to be double. But of course, again, top line double is not necessarily means that the bottom line will be double. Again, that just now like I mentioned.
Yep.
The margin is going to be compressed. It's going to be compromised. So it's not going to be double, but it's a very good money. 1 month later, actually they announced when they say that actually within less than a month, I think about 2 months now, they announced their first mega project that they won in Taiwan, the Kaohsiung MRT for the Yellow Line, 3.33 billion. This is their bigger project won. That is the biggest contracts that they have secured in Taiwan, and this one they are going alone. Previously they have partner. They go there because when they are new. So now they think they're confident, so they go alone. So this is a breakthrough project for them actually. A week later, they announced the second one, Sabah Hydro Power Plant, 4 billion to a consortium also. Gamuda owns about 40% of the consortium. So this is the second mega projects that they are guiding actually. The portion to Gamuda is about 2 billion. Then come early of this month, during the result, they announced that they have secured 1.8 billion Singapore MRT project, the extension. This is number 8 MRT line in Singapore. And this is also a breakthrough for them. So they have 2 breakthroughs actually, one in Taiwan, one in Singapore. So this is a big project. 3 projects make up to about 6.5 billion. You see 25 billion over 2 years. So assuming they distribute equally, there's 12.5 billion a year. In 3 years' time, they already make it half of their target for FY24. So it's very remarkable actually. Okay, so going forward, okay, you can see the pie chart here. Malaysia is make up only about a fourth of their a quarter of their order books now. Going forward, Malaysia will be the portion will become smaller, but I think it will depend on how soon MRT3 and the LRT3 project is going to announce. The volume for the Malaysia one will going to increase from 7.6 there definitely, but overseas side is growing also. Their focus now, the biggest market will definitely be Australia. That will be Australia. So today I want to share about the Australia, even though that we are talking about Malaysian construction sector, but I think because that Gamuda, since it's the #1 or the largest construction company, and their main market now is Australia. Yes. Now let I share with you, because I actually visited the site visit in Sydney last month. They have invited the Southside analysts to see their projects over there. Okay, Australia, Gamuda Australia was established in 2019. It was invited by the Austrade. Austrade is something like our meeting in Malaysia, where they do the trade to promote business activity. So they invited Gamuda to go over to see whether they can participate in their infrastructure bidding. So they went over there. After so many years, 4 years, going to be 5 years soon. So at least now we see some result. So in 2022, they actually bought over, or they acquire a majority stake in this company called Tunsong, which is the tunneling solutions. They are doing the mine tunneling. I think it's actually give compliments with their current current capabilities that they are doing the tunneling projects. And then remember just now I say in May this year they acquired a company, this DT infrastructure. So DT infrastructure, they are doing more on the smaller project. They are looking at probably 500 million Aussie dollar kind of contract and below. And before that, Gamuda, they are looking at all above 1 billion US dollar. No, sorry, not US dollar, the Aussie dollar contract. So it's actually so that with this, Gamuda can how to say can involve in all type of projects, all skill. So now actually they are the tier one contractor in Australia. In Australia. So since the inceptions of this Gamuda Australia, they have secured 3 mega projects. Started in 2019. So in 3 years time or 4 years time, finally they secure their first project, which is Sydney Metro West. Yeah, the one that I visited actually last month. That was in last year March, about 2.2 billion Aussie. And then last year, June, they secured another one, about 1.4 billion. This is a highway project. The third project actually is also a highway project. It's about 1 billion. So all these 3 projects actually is in New South Wales. I mean the same state as Sydney. Of course, they are looking at like DTI. Their base actually is in Queensland. Their base actually is in Queensland. So they from there they can extend to Queensland. Victoria, which is your Melbourne side, you go to the Perth, which is the Western Australia, so that you can see they can involve in more project in Australia. Okay, okay. Let's me share with you about the Sydney Metro. Sydney. Okay, we just look at the left hand side first. They got a vision is actually to build 3 city within the metropolitans of Sydney by 2056. There will be 3. So currently, the current Sydney city is on your east side. Parramatta, okay, you see, okay, sidetrack a bit to your right hand side. This tunneling projects that currently Gamuda is involved. It's actually from Parramatta to all the way to the Sydney downtown. The Hansel Street actually is in the CBD itself, so it's crossover. So in 2050, in 30 years time, that would be they were going to have 3 big city in a greater Sydney. Then they have a new airport that they're going to build is at the west side. Currently, they are in Sydney. Actually, it's near to the city center. I think it's about 10 km apart from the CBD itself. So eventually it's going to be have 3 different city. The idea actually they have this slogan is that 30 minutes traveling. Meaning to say is that you want to travel anywhere from to work, to do your business activity, it will be done in 30 minutes. Remember just now when I talk about MRT 3, the public infrastructure is very important so that you can let people commute more effectively rather than you drive on the road, you are stuck in a traffic jam. It's stuck in the traffic basically. So you got public transport. So the idea is actually for Sydney Metro is that you're going to link up all these 3 cities, all the infrastructure. So that you know people can travel 30 minutes to work, to do their business activity or whatsoever. Let's say you want to go from this side to another side, it will take you 30 minutes to reach. That is the idea. That is their objective. But I think it should take more than 30 minutes if you really want from one end to another. But I think for one city across another city, 30 minutes, it shouldn't be a problem for them. So basically, this is their idea. So that creates actually the opportunity for the infrastructure contractor in Australia. And now Gamuda is there. Okay,
Hey,
so
just a quick one. Looking at the photo that you are sharing on the right, where Sydney Metro West Tunnel package with the 9, 11, and 4 km, right? I can see a blue patch there where the tunnel running across through. So meaning the tunnel will be so deep it will be running beneath the river, probably.
yes, correct. Some yes,
Okay.
some this part. So that you will cross over. But when you
Wow. Now
go deeper, then it's not. Okay, Gambuda actually say that this Sydney soil are more certain as compared to our Klang Valley. So this project to them actually is just like
chicken feed
it's
ah.
much easier. Huh?
Chicken feed ah.
Would say that chicken feed, but it's much easier as compared to KL one. So the speed will be faster than what they did in Klang Valley compared
Okay.
to this Sydney. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you can see that this idea about they're going to have 3 cities, then next the infrastructure that they're going to link out. So after that, you will see that there are 4 more that are coming out from the central going to the airport side, all will link to the airport. So these are opportunities that Gamuda that they can look forward to. And one thing is Australia is that what they do is that let's say these 4 packages, I mean 4 line or probably one line got a few packages. Three company go in to bid for the project. So let's say got 3 packages. Company A won the package A, they are disqualified to bid for the second and the third, so that the
So
other 2 can go for the. So meaning this is actually everyone have a chance to share the contract pie there. So the contract flow for Gamuda would be, I think, will be continue after that when there are more projects coming out, because they will try to make sure that every contractor can survive.
okay. Interesting.
So
Very
I think it's
interesting.
very interesting over there. That's why I think last month they bid one project in which later I think I'm going to share in Melbourne side. They lost in package 1. So the package 1 winner disqualified for the package 2, and he and another competitor immediately qualified for the package 2, so they can go for the bidding.
So from the Australian authority perspective, they are also trying to not overburden the contractors in a certain way so that the
Also,
packages go
correct,
smoothly.
correct. Yeah, they can, yes, correct. In a way also, because all this you need a high capex to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Very interesting market.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Okay, now come to Melbourne. Melbourne also same like our Klang Valley, that you have so multiple this public transport, your real line. So they got, you see, got so many line, so that they also need to have a second line, a real loop to loop all this line all together. It's exactly the idea exactly like our this MRT3. I think in Singapore also you got all this circle line.
Yep.
It's very simple. So this is another potential, about 50 billion Aussie. They're going to have 4 different lines as well that all will link to airport as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So this is another prospect that they, I mean the opportunity. Next, this will be my last slide. This is talking about what they are looking at, what they are building now. Actually, they got
Okay.
they got road, they got tunnel, they got hydro, they got solar, they got transmission line. Basically, Gamuda actually not only do the engineering work, they are into the renewable energy also. In Australia, they are really going quite. They really actively participate in those bidding, so that they try to build out their RE portfolio on that part. Yeah. So.
Very interesting sharing, Tay. I think the rate that Gamuda is tunneling at international stage, I would not be surprised if Elon Musk give them a call to help them with the Vegas tunnel, you know. So so I mean it. But would you mind just a quick one that you have actually pointed out 3 topics? and actually quickly share my screen on the chart for our audience here. And at the meantime, while I'm sharing the charts for everyone, those that have Q&A, you can just pop it here in the chat. Hi. And Ken Lang, I think after this session, we probably will upload the session into YouTube. You can check it out later. Probably give us some time. Yeah. So let me quickly pop a chart for a quick one. Where's my chart? All right. Can you guys see it? All right. This Gamuda's chart. Let me do a quick drawing. Hey, you know what? I think market got news that you're giving a talk tonight. That's why you see this green candle that spike up, you know.
Oh, I wish.
So a quick look that, I'm actually plotting a quick resistance level for everyone to have a look here. And based on what they have shared, right? Personally, I think it is a very good accumulation level here because firstly, you can see in the chart, the stochastic is rising from the oversold zone with a lower end of that swing up here. And it's actually attempting to cross over is a 21 moving average line. And I have not been covering fundamental side of things for the longest time. And I actually quickly took a look back on Gamuda's chart back where its peak was in 2017. If I quickly take a look at the chart in 2017, right, I think it kind of coincides with my colleague Tay's target price is really close. Is really close. So and where I can see that is like you have record order book with prospects of Australian contracts coming in, and with this timing here, I think it's quite impeccable for an accumulation standpoint, and that is I I think that you picked the right timing for this session, man. Yeah. So let me quickly move to SunCon. SunCon on the other end is actually looking to settle down around here before it's trying to search to the next move. So looking at a news flow perspective, I think we can afford some time to time it, afford some time, but the range is pretty tight in that context, so we draw it a bit further. Yeah. The next level that I think looking at how we're once a news flow punch through, it will be on a 210 and also 219 to 220 levels very quickly. So I think in the medium to short term, I think we all can actually start to strategize a bit in how we want to position ourselves into this stock. And I'll give you a quick support here. Yeah, 180. Looking at how our government has been moving at a very fast pace, even with the new cabinet, I read the news. There's no time to be wasted, right? I think we should expect quite a slew of projects coming out. And now next one, IGM. Okay, IGM has a very interesting setup. All right, I want you all to actually look at this closely. If you look at this level, IGM actually has risen from the week low, and I switch it back to day chart. It has been consolidating above 184. So I love consolidation. What does it tell me? Consolidation means it's actually resting to make the next move. It's either up or down. But looking at the prospects and also where the construction outlook for Malaysia is, I think we must keep our eyes peeled looking at this to wait for opportunity here. So there are two setups. First, for investors that it goes really long, you can actually do a bit of a location starting. And well, for traders, right, you want to watch the 192 level very closely. When there's a surge in momentum, that's where I think we can act really quickly. So that is for those that is actually trading very quickly. Yeah, so that's so far for the sharing in terms of the chart. I'll stop my sharing for a bit. I'll jump to the chat box to see if there's any question. Hello. I have a lot of audience here tonight. Aren't you curious of more counters? Or probably a quick one, we have actually chat about the big caps. When the contract flows start rolling, which mid to small cap will be your first pick?
I actually talking about I quite like Kajaya prospect. I think one reason is that they've been consistently present quite good earnings. Second, I think the margin is quite consistent. I think they have the best margin. It's even better than Gamuda.
Okay.
One. Second, it pay a quite good dividends also actually. About 5-6% at current level.
Okay.
Yes, for a contractor, I think it's quite remarkable because construction company is never a you play.
Okay.
So I think this one, yes, they consistently pay out that a good dividend. Third is because they also it's a how to say, it's a net cash company. Also, rarely construction company are in cash position also. Net cash
The war
position.
chest is really strong.
Yeah.
Okay. We have some questions from the chat box. Is RB in bad shape? And also, is George Gan gonna win any construction jobs? Yeah.
Okay. Like just now I mentioned that's actually the pie is big enough, the cake is big enough that I think big small construction company will be able to get something out of something. Of course, these two companies actually I don't cover it, so I can't really give a view on it and outlooks on it. But I believe that if construction company is very simple, what you need is just contract. No contract, you'll be in problem. Yeah, you're multi. So you must have contracts. It's very important. So once you have that, then it's good lah.
All right. There's one more question from Bruno. Gamuda winning 3 awards as the Age Property Awards mean? Is this the first time it did so? Will it be a major driver to Gamuda? Probably the proposition in terms of the segmentation would
I think that the one that's going to drive Gamuda group will be the engineering side, which is the construction side. Property they want that the Age actually, you ask me, of course it's good. It's a recognition for their effort. I think that they have many township in Malaysia already. Previously I think they started what you see probably 20 years ago. It was this what's that name, Valencia.
Valencia. Okay.
Valencia. Okay. Now you have like Gamuda Cove, you have Gamuda City, you got Gamuda Park, and then in Vietnam they got a few other malls also. So actually, if you ask me, construction company and property company, they actually complement each other because they are in the building business as well, so that they can they can pass up their property project to their in-house constructions arm to do it. So I think somehow it can first of all it can actually you can talk that one project that you can from A to Z you can do basically. But of course they have a choice also. Looking at the Kajaya prospect as I mentioned, or even this summary construction, they make it very clear. If the in-house project cannot meet their minimum requirement, they will not take the project. So that they will let the third party to do it. So they themselves will go out to look for other projects also. So actually, this type of business model actually is good, so that you can internally you can improve your efficiency to improve your margin. At the same time, you can lower margin area, you can sub it to a third party. Why not?
Yep. Then there's a interesting question by Equity Analyst. Any companies that related to data center that we should look at?
Oh, okay. Like just now I mentioned, actually, publicly announced actually is a Summit Construction. They only got two that I mentioned. Gamuda actually they got one also. They also got one. So others, I think actually, data center. Okay, in Malaysia basically is a park. I think we need to make the line very clear is that what exactly data center. Data center actually is just like a normal factory lot, but of course that you must have some facility, because it require high power consumption. It require cooling system as well, so you must have a water. And you see, I make an example, data center. You see, YTL Power owns the YTL Green Data Center in Johor, the one that they have ambitious to build 500 megawatt. Last week, as just now I mentioned, the NVIDIA boss was here. So what is the difference now and before? Before that, YTL groups actually they are just build the buildings, and then they lease it out to it can be anyone that they want to do. Like the one that they sign up actually is C Limited, the parent company of Shopee. So Shopee will have their own. I mean the C Limited will have their own server. They're doing their own server on it. So what YTL do is just they rent out the it's okay, make it very simple. It's just like you own a property, whether you want to lend it out as a bare unit, empty unit to your tenant, or you want to lend it out to partially furnished or fully furnished. So
With
now
racking space, with racking space.
yeah, with a different add-on. So of course, every add-on you will get a margin on it. So of course, bare unit you will get a very simple margin as you add on items. So now you add on your NVIDIA server inside, chips whatsoever, you have a better margin. So this is a data center. This is about a data center.
Okay. There's one more question regarding Gamuda, which I think it should be interesting. It would be the first diversification for hotel business. What would your view about that? And probably I think if it's too small, it does not really affect his balance sheet, right?
Correct. It's very small, so not so. But actually, ask me, they should concentrate on the engineering, which is their construction side. Property side, just these two and go. Because if we have too many, then I think you probably will lose focus. You should do things that you are best. But I think it's not wrong also. Hotel business is about the building business also. So it's not wrong. But I would rather they really into, just focus on the two, especially the engineering side.
I'll jump to Bruno first, then I'll round up Ken Leong's question in shortly. Will Sunway be going heavy on healthcare, help Suncon?
Yes, when you have a new being up, so yes, they will do. Okay, you see, Sunway Carnival in Penang, Seberang Jaya. They have built out the hospital there. So who built that? Actually, Suncon.
Okay.
They get a project definitely to share to say that the margin is good. That's why they take, because like I mentioned, they make it very clear. Good margin they will take. If they not meet their requirement, they are not going to take that project.
Yeah, fair enough. So coming back to Ken Leong's question will be what's if you have any view on NCT, Kim Loon, and also Kitakon?
Kim Loon, the other two actually I don't cover, so I can't really comment much. Kim Loon's result was quite disappointing for the last 2 quarters. It had missed our forecast as well as the market consensus. They actually went into the losses the latest quarter. But against that, I say this contractor actually they rely on the public contract for. So not really. But once all those public contracts come up, then I think they should be back to normal again. Again, you need a top line to drive your earnings. You need a contract.
Okay.
One
Yeah,
contract
yeah.
out.
I
You should be
do
fine.
concur. A quick one, Bruno, just to answer you. NCT is not MCT. So I think what you're referring to should be MCT. That's being renamed into Avalan, the property player from Philippines. Yeah. So it's called MCT. That one is money. Starts with money, not
Yes,
N.
correct.
Yeah. All right. So far, I think we'll take one or two more questions, then I will do some promotional activities, then we can end this. I think we have taken too much of Tay's time tonight, which, I mean, we must really thank him for the insights, especially on Gamuda. Yeah, is there any more questions? Ah, okay.
EcoWest. Okay, EcoWest, I think yeah, they will survive. Uh HSR, yeah,
Under Malaysia?
yeah, Bandar Malaysia.
Just I mean, just experience sharing because our office is right in front of Setiap Pantai Expressway, which is Duke 3. Personally, I live around the area. I tried the highway. I mean, I hated the construction. I must tell you that, but it's quite fun lah. The highway was quite fun. Yeah. So yep. And EcoWest, we don't. you do not cover it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and recently I think they just finished a round of placement, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I
So
think this company can survive.
Sunrise. Last.
Okay, this is a property company. Any impact from, yeah, of course, because actually UAM Sunrise have UAM, they have a last piece of land in Iskandar. So they are the beneficiary. That's the reason why the share price has shot up,
Rallied. Yeah, rallied.
rallied so much. Yeah.
Yeah, company consolidation. So yeah, correct. Yes, HK. That's cool. So I think I take that as the last one. I'll jump on sharing some. On next week, we will have something more also relatively interesting. You all can actually sign up for a class to learn about call warrants and how to navigate it. But this session is particularly in Mandarin. In the future, we have always have it in English. But now that we managed to hire some talents that speaks Mandarin, that's why this particular session that's upcoming is in Mandarin. So you can actually join on RSVP link. At the same time, right? That's something that I want to quickly share with you guys is on this. Uh, all right. So let me go to my sharing link. So in this screen here, you can actually see that the Kentrade portal here, and this is where you can sign in. For those who are Kenanga clients, we have a Monday stock chat, which I will actually give out stock ideas. You can actually download Kentrade 2.0. Most importantly, what I want to talk about is now Kenanga, we are actually going fully heading towards a fully digital direction. You can actually open your trading account with seamlessly with online eKYC check. And I've actually chatted with people that had the experience. And if you manage to take a photo of your IC properly, I think you can get your trading account ready within an hour. Yeah, so that apart, right? For those that is interested in Coron, look at this young man here. Wow, becoming a CIO soon. Started his career recently here. And we have Mr. Johan Lee next week, Tuesday, 19. And these Naga warrants, for those that actually look into call warrants, I want you to follow this website very closely because it allows you to check out the live matrix here. Yeah, it's something that is built by our colleague. So, yep. So for tonight, I think I'm gonna wrap it up just like this. And yes, thank you a lot, Tay. No, Isaac Lee is just an AVP. The guy beside is the CIO. But young, the talents are boundless lah. Yeah, it will be good lah. One day, I hope to see him to be one. Yeah. So yep, that's all for tonight. Tay, do you have anything to add to our audience?
No, thanks a lot that joined us tonight, and
Yep.
hope that next year is a better year than this
Yep.
year.
Fingers crossed. And remember the chart I show you on Gamuda, guys. Thanks. Good night. Thanks
Okay,
again,
good night.
Tay.
Good night, everyone. Thanks, Adrian. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.